I originally woke up during COVID, and I started getting active because my children were in school and they shut everything down, okay?
Wow.
And essentially my children's lives stopped on March 16th of 2020. And my daughter was a wrestler. And I was, I knew she was not going to be able to wrestle if we stayed, because the schools were essentially lying to us that they were going to start back up, and we knew they weren't. So I sent her actually to a school in Pennsylvania, which is the #1 wrestling school for women in the country.
Wow.
Yes. Now, in the meantime, I was standing out on the street corner with my sign that said, "Stop the COVID craziness, let's get back to work. The cure is worse than the problem," right? And I was involved in a group called Moving Marin Forward, and I stood up there one night and I said, we need to find a church that's open and not doing these COVID mandates.
Yeah.
And I had my really good friend named Joy Von Anton who talked about the Lord all the time.
Oh.
And she said, my church is open. And I said, really, what church is that? She said, it's the Rock in Santa Rosa. So I said, okay, we're going there on Sunday. And so I got myself to the church. I sat there, and I was just there sitting in the back, watching this great, nobody's wearing a mask, the preacher's up there, talking, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. I kind of like this. So I kept going back, and I had a friend named Beverly who would ask me every once in a while, are you saved? And I said, no, I'm not saved. I'm not ready for that. Like, I got to think about this. I got to know what I'm doing here. And then one day she said, are you saved? And I said, no. But I was sitting there, and Pastor Ross was calling us, and I raised my hand. So I got saved. And that was in 2021, early 2021, about February or so.
Wow.
And then my daughter, who was away at school, she came home in the summer, and I said to her very tentatively, would you like to go to church with me? And she said, sure, Mom, that'd be great. And I said, what? Well, okay, who is this and what have you done with my daughter? And she said, Mom, I'm saved. And I said, what? What happened? And she said, I'm saved. I was saved at school. So 3,000 miles away, my daughter was saved about the same time that I was saved. And then in the summer of 2021, we were able to come together and go to church together.
Wow.
And that has really changed the course of our relationship.
Wow.
It's changed the course of her life, because I really do believe. Wow, I didn't think I was going to get emotional about that.
Okay.
Oh.
We're used to that.
Yeah. Be around young believers, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I really do think she was on a course to have to deal with this transgender ideology, and as a wrestler especially. So she is now in college, and I was really getting political, because I just could see that we were going down a really bad path towards communism, and really we needed a revival, because we were really going away from God.
Yeah.
And I didn't want her to have to make a choice as a wrestler, as a female, to have to wrestle a man pretending to be a woman.
Wow.
And then even if she stood up and said, I'm not going to do that, she had the possibility of losing her scholarship that she has, her ranking, because there's a possibility they can punish you for not doing this. And I knew that what this transgender ideology was doing was they were trying to erase womanhood, trying to erase women. And I want to protect my daughter, and I want to protect women. We've really come too far.